Hey guys, welcome back to Sabers Forever. I'm John. Today we got a cool one. We're going over a blaster, and this is from the Blaster Factory. This is the DH-17. I had this on commission for a little bit, and I took my time to think about it and figure out how exactly I wanted to install it, and I think I did a pretty banger job. So without further ado, why don't we jump right in, and I'll show you exactly what's going on. Alright, so this is the Blaster Factory DH-17. This is what you might see the Rebels use in the beginning of A New Hope in the Tantive IV Imperial Assault, or at the end of Rogue One, spoilers, when it becomes A New Hope. And you get to see all the Rebels using these against the Dark Lord himself. So this is really cool. Blaster Factory did an absolutely outstanding job. This is a really cool kit. I ordered it. I painted it all. I ordered it like I had to assemble it. But essentially this was a commission. Somebody had asked, hey, can you install this? And I was like, I'll do my best. And there were definitely some caveats. So for those that are interested, if you're going to tackle it yourself, this whole barrel is solid all the way back to here. I actually don't have a lathe or a drill press deep enough to be able to do that, so I had to actually outsource getting this machined out. Thankfully, that was not very expensive. It just took a couple days. So, with that being said, there were a couple other caveats that I really wanted to go over because I didn't feel like drilling additional holes or trying to figure out, where I can magically stick a button. That didn't really make sense because my brain just wants to see it work the way I would assume it does, in the universe, in the Star Wars universe. So the only other place I could really imagine easily installing another switch, because blasters need 2 switches, is right here. So this lever actually actuates a switch inside the blaster, which I will show you what that mechanism looks like later, but essentially this just pushes forward, and you can hear it. And it actuates a switch. You don't want to push it really hard, and you don't want to pull it back this way because it's not designed to do that, and it'll just break. And then this is the obviously the firing trigger. Now, those are the only 2 buttons that you need to access in order to make the blaster work. But let's go over actually how to turn it on. So the cap, you would push in and then twist counterclockwise and pull off. Now, I would not do it with the barrel facing down because the chassis is just going to fall out. You want to probably do it, up or on the side or on a table. But just be aware, this is it's not a super loose fit, but it's not hard to take in and out by design. So anyways, this is just a simple chassis. You've got a stock rotary connector for 6 poles, a 18650 lithium-ion battery, a high-amp kill switch. Your speaker is actually all the way down here, Proffieboard, and when you put your battery in, this is marked, you can see right there, positive, negative, positive, negative. And I would like to note that even though on this one, the Sabers Forever logo lines up here and on the chassis, that might not always be the case. The battery wraps, they do flip-flop with the logo, so just always pay attention to the direction that the positive or negative is on the battery wrap, or just know your battery. The nipple is always the positive, and the flat side is always the negative. Putting this in backwards will fry your board, and you will be sending at least the chassis back to me. That's kind of a plus now that I think about it. Anyways, the negative goes towards the kill switch. So you'd flip this up towards the connector to turn it on. And then this has a track system on the chassis, but that's literally just because there's bolts on the inside of here that need to allow, the chassis needs to be able to pass by. So that's all the track system's for. It doesn't matter which way it goes in. If it didn't have those bolts, I wouldn't have put the track system and it wouldn't matter. But the track system lines up essentially up and down with the scope or the handle. And you can put it in either that way or that way. Does not matter. And then you have your spring, because this, as I showed earlier, has to push in, and then it kind of sits farther back. So I needed something that was springy. Go figure. So now it's on, and your trigger will fire the blaster. And this is a custom DH-17 sound font that I put together myself. It borrows the sounds from DL-44 and Battlefront, DH-17 sounds, and A New Hope blaster sound. So essentially the first one, this one, is your A New Hope like combination blaster that was seen. It was used for E11s and DH-17s, or just generic blaster sounds. But it's accurate to A New Hope. And you get like a nice flash, a nice white flash with a red flicker at the end. If you switch the font by tapping the auxiliary right here, you get a nice R5 sound effect. So all of the auxiliary effects will be R5, unless you really hate that and you just want it to be like gun clicks or whatever. I can do that too. Just let me know in an email. But this one's just red, just a red blast. More of a DL-44 kind of generic blaster sound. And then the full auto is from Battlefront. And this is the DH-17 full auto. So you get a nice flash and of you get nice flashes of white and red. Now, I was anticipating needing to drill some holes for sound venting. Speaker is plenty loud. There is no sound venting. This thing is not perfectly soundproof from the inside, kind of like Sabers tend to be. You know, they're all threaded and tight, and they can baffle noise very easily. This is not that case. If I were to do any kind of sound venting, it would need to be on the back pommel here, somewhere around this area. But I don't feel a need. I know maybe not at like a convention, you're not really going to be able to hear it, but like outside, and especially if you're holding it, and especially inside, you're definitely going to be able to hear it. It is not quiet. So yeah, I definitely feel like I might even need to yell a little bit to get over the volume. It's not terribly loud, but it is not quiet. So I opted against the ugly sound venting in this situation. If you would like that as well, feel free to message me and let me know. Now, the only other thing to really go over on this is that if you were to put this on your shelf, you really don't want to just leave it on, because this does not have a deep sleep feature. So you're going to have to take the core out and flip the kill switch down towards the speaker to turn the power off to the soundboard, thus preventing any battery draw. And then there you go. It's not even that difficult. Like, that's pretty easy, I think. I know there's no off-on switch on the outside of the blaster here, but what more could you really want, right? Anyways, that basically wraps up this video, so why don't we just cut to John over there. Alright, so one last thing to go over before we round out this video is I wanted to go over this mechanism that I created, and maybe go over a little bit of how and why I decided to do what I did. Essentially, this is the component that goes underneath and actually comes with this. So this clicks. It's a three-way switch, and essentially it aligns with the S, R, and F over here. So that all gets covered up with this, and even on the E11, which it doesn't get covered up, it really doesn't serve a purpose, and so I wanted to make something that was going to be a little bit more mechanically friendly, and so what I did was I ended up designing something with the same footprint as the component that it comes with, essentially, and it's got the same stem dimensions as the other component. And essentially I had to do a little bit of research and digging as to how to make PLA flexible like a spring. So I did this cool spiral design. I wanted it to be preloaded, so I printed it with, and trying to focus, I printed it with this lever on the opposite side of this wall here, because essentially you just lift it up and then move the lever over on the other side of the wall, and now it's preloaded and it actuates that button right there. So, and it goes back real quick and real well every single time. So I really love that, and I wanted that for the blaster. So that is exactly what goes on. And I am very proud of that. So should that ever break, I know it's all 3D printed. It is actually very easy to replace. This just you unscrew this screw, the handle comes off, it all unfolds, and then you can access the inside and just pop in a new one should it break. So this one being the first one, we'll see if I have to refine anything. If not, hopefully I don't, then great. The other thing was I wanted this to all be 3D printed, and so that actually wasn't possible. What I ended up doing was, for testing purposes, and this ended up becoming a nice little feature, is the speaker is actually still loose in here. Doesn't need to be glued in because this just screws on. And when you get the kit, this will have a little dab of glue to stop it from. Oh, I didn't seat it correctly. This will have a little dab of glue to stop it from coming undone. So some nice threads, 3D printed, holds the speaker in there real well. And I wanted to use this, and I kind of did the threading for testing purposes, so I didn't have to keep printing the body. But essentially, I was going to try and 3D print a spring mechanism with 2 arms, but the problem is that on the print lines, it just kept breaking along the seam. So no good. And had to end up going with a real spring. So that is how this came to be, and I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let's wrap the video there. Alright guys, that does it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe to see more cool installs just like this guy. I'm actually about to start a Mando blaster, and I think it's going to be really cool. So make sure to hit that bell to get notified when that video goes live. It probably won't be for a little while because I still have to start it, but little spoilers for that. If you are looking to get this installed or something like it, like a blaster, a bowcaster, DL44, E11, you name it, you can find these commissions on my website at sabersforever.com. You will be able to purchase the full build, or if you already have the Blaster Factory DH-17, I can offer a ship-in service for you to allow me to install your already owned DH-17. So just let me know what works for you and we'll get that on the bench. If you can't find what you're looking for, please feel free to reach out to me at john@sabersforever.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much again for watching these videos and checking out what I do. It really means everything, and I wouldn't keep doing this if you guys didn't like it, so thank you. And I guess that basically does it. So until the next time, guys, may the Force be with you.